It's okay, it's dark, and I'm just gonna tape this in the dark because I don't really care. Well, I started talking to myself. I was like, I might as well just record it just to make a reference to it later on in life. Anyways, well, first of all, I was talking to Jamila. Talking to Jamila always has some sort of problem, you know. For example, she's just like, you like my status? And her status says, I love the way you scream with my heel over your throat, begging for me to give you control, but I won't. Not that easy, my darling. You won't hurt me, my darling. First of all, I was just like, I guess it was good up to that point. And then I was just like, huh? And then she's just like, well, the way that I was writing it was that I'm gonna hurt you before you hurt me. Because to be honest, a lot of girls have that mentality after you've been screwed over by guys, lol. I was just like, huh, that is true, I guess. But I've never had that dilemma. In my head, I was like, I'm so glad that I've never went through that dilemma. But then again, there's a part of me that's always wanted to, experience heartbreak, all that stuff. And I was just like, you know what, I guess I have. Maybe not in a sense that guys screwed me over. They screwed myself over in relationships. Like, I was thinking earlier, I was just like, I don't know. Well, with last, I just felt screwed. Well, from the beginning, it was just screwed over for me. Because, I don't know, he said I love you way too fast, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even love him. Why am I saying this? I don't want to be like, no, I'm not ready, because it was my first boyfriend. I didn't know what else to do. Okay, and then I don't know. Clearly, things just kind of went whoosh, really fast. Also, the fact that I talked to him a lot less as we started going out. I liked it better before we went out. Anyways, and then there was Dan. A lot of stuff happened with me and Dan. A lot of fights, a lot of, like, I don't know, just a lot of things in general, like, well, things that screwed me over, I don't know, even, like, near the beginning of the relationship, there was something that happened, and then I started to drift away from him. I don't really remember what it is I did, but he was just like, you're drifting from me, and I was like, I am, no, and it was just like, I wanted to cry. Anyways, and then another part was definitely when, John was just like, oh yeah, they used to be friends with benefits. I bet you they still are now. I was just like, oh, well, I don't know. And she's like, oh, you guys started going, you and Dan started going out, we did it. Oh, we stopped being friends with benefits because we didn't want to hurt you like that. I was like, oh, that's nice. I don't know, there was always in the back of my head, something was up, like, you know. But I just chose to ignore it because this is what they said and I trusted them with that. What else? Jonathan didn't really screw me over. I just kind of got a little upset. And I got over it. What else did one thing that really did, that, like, stayed in my mind for, like, the longest time was that over the summer, like, things got really bad for us. Like, it was really rough. Like, we didn't do stuff a lot. Like, we couldn't finish that stuff. And so he just kind of, like, started to, like, didn't, like, he started to talk to me a lot less and less, and it kind of depressed, like, this is why I don't like to be cute. This is why I don't like to be super cute, because eventually I'm gonna crash so hard because I don't talk to them anymore that it's gonna, like, hurt me. And it did in the end, because he ended up falling in love with someone else. And that broke me down so bad. Like, I was just like, no, you didn't. Because I brought it up to him because John was just like, yeah, he's doing this and that. And Kid's like, yeah, he's doing this and that. I was just like, no way. I was just like, well, in my head I was just like, it's like, no, he cannot be like that. And then I brought it up, I was just like, no way, they're just kidding, right? They're just saying that. It's just like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? And yeah, he's like, yeah. I was like, well, yeah, actually, I am. He was just like, is it possible to love two people? And I was just like, that right there, that shattered my heart, I think. One of the things that really, like, broke me was that he said that. But And then that for a few days just screwed with my mind, and I think that partially started like a lot of like negative emotions in me. And that's really where I think that's part of where it started to like fall apart, as well as the fact that I had cheerleading, and we started to talk less and less for the fact that I always had cheerleading. Sorry. And then we just started to fight and fight and fight. And like around November, because that's when I started my journaling again. And also the fact that no, I think there was like a huge fight at the beginning of the month. Like, he said, "I hate you, I don't love you, I never did," something like that. That screwed me over. It always stayed in my mind. That's why we always fought. There were so many negative emotions that were going on. And then, I don't know, like, it's not even his fault, really. I wouldn't blame him for that. And also the fact that I was never really comfortable talking to him, like, just talking to him. Like, he could be sweet with me, and he could do stuff like that with me, but it was never really a in-between. Sorry if you're listening. It's the truth. I'm sorry. I mean, you're really great. He was still really nice, and he was sweet. I think he was the ideal boyfriend if you really wanted that whole fairy tale thing, and at some point I did. But eventually, in time, it just didn't work out. I guess it also brings in, like, I remember, I was reading Kimi Wapet, and, excuse me, there was a quote talking about N, which is apparently can't be defined, but I think, like, I was trying to understand it, like, I could try and define it myself, but I think it's mostly, like, how would I explain this, it's kind of like fate, and how people meet up, because there's, like, a quote that says, because there's no end, no matter how many chances there might be, you'll never be together. I guess there might be people like that. And when I read that, I was just like, that seems like me and him so much. Just for the fact that I remember we'd always be so close to meeting up, and then I'd get in a fight with him, and then bam, he rips up his papers or something, you know? And even when I was younger, apparently I seen him, but I just don't remember. Also the fact that when we were at church, I didn't really pay attention to him. I remember him staring. I just don't remember him, like, his face and everything. But then, yeah, I believe in the whole end thing. I mean, sometimes as much as you love a person, it's not gonna work out. I'm not saying that's how it's like in my relationship now with Derek, because I think things are gonna work out a lot more. Like I said before, we seem to be on a really pretty much on the same page for everything, which I'm really glad about. I think he is really, really the one. And I don't want to think all these negative things. Oh no, maybe it's and we can't be together. No, I think it's good how it should be now, because if I could see him every day, shit, my grades would be like whoosh, F, C. Actually, don't go like C. And yeah, my parents would just fucking hate him forever and blame him for everything. They'd never want me to be near him. And I know that he'd be mad at himself as well for the fact that I let myself do that. I let myself go, you know? Just for some feelings. You know that if you want to have a good future and you want to have a happy life, you need to use both your heart and your brain. I know my grandma tells me to use my brain and and find a future that's good for me more than what something my heart says is meant for me. I think it's both. I think really, especially when you want to find a job, like, you should find something you love doing but also makes a decent pay. Also the fact that try as much as possible to love someone logically, as much as you really can't do that. Like, I don't want to get too carried away with the cute things to lose track of where I am in my life, you know, to lose track of all my schoolwork and everything like that, you know. Anyways, my thing's probably gonna go up soon, so yeah, I'll talk to you guys another time. Bye bye.